Hey Bullets YouTube channel.
Hurry up, now tell us why you're here.
Mika Powell and Kane Carfine joined the new race team, Sebastian Racing, with the team owner being Sebastian Silva. Sebastian's teammate Billy Carjoy is now unfortunately out for the season because of a practice crash. But it was not caused by Terry Cargis, as Terry Cargis did not wreck a single other car during practice. Good job. Now starting at pole position is Lightning McQueen with Cal Weathers to his outside. Row 2 has Bobby Swift and Dale Earnhardt Jr. I wonder how they'll do this race. Probably well. Row 3 has Brick Yardley and Jimmy Cables, looking to stay in the top 5 in points. And Row 4 has Jack DePost and Maury Clutchburn. How did they qualify this well? Row 5 has Todd Marcus, last week's race winner, and James Garrison to his outside. Row 6 has Jamarcus Capehart and Phil Tankson, the two number 28 cars. Row 7 has TG Castlenut and Rex Revler. I wonder how they'll do this race. And Row 8 has Kyle Carson and Chip Gearings, who I hope does well this race, as he's never won before. And Row 9 has Ricky Axel and Carl Clutchin. I wonder how they'll do this race. Row 10 has Martin Carrix Jr. and Jamie McCarry, who surprisingly qualifies for this race. Row 11 has Marcus Kranksler and Bruce Miller, who surprisingly qualified this well. Row 12 has Brian Sparks and Ralph Carlo, who won a race earlier this season. Row 13 has Speedy Comet and Matthew Overdrive. Neither have won a race yet this season. Row 14 has Kevin Carvick and the jumper, Doug Throttleman. Now on to Row 15, where Tony Gassworth will be starting alongside Rev Rodages, who finished on the lead lap in the last two races. Row 16 has Floyd Mulvihill and Reb Meeker. I wonder how they'll do this race. And Row 17 has Darren Leadfoot alongside Paunchy Wipeout. I wonder if Darren Leadfoot will lead some laps. And Row 18 has Dino Draftsky and Terry Cargis, who used to be teammates. Row 19 has Bobby Rotesta and Lane Locke, both of which qualified last race. Row 20 has Tommy Highbanks and Ernie Gearson, surprisingly only barely qualifying. Row 21 has Dirks D'Agostino and Buck Beeringly, two cars that were lucky to qualify. And starting in 43rd is Parker Breakston, making his third start this season, beating out these 12 cars, among many others, to qualify for this race. Lightning McQueen will lead the first 40 laps of the race, but on lap 2, Tony Gassworth would be out because of an engine failure. The same thing would happen to Kyle Carson on lap 10. How? And Matthew Overdrive will be out on lap 19 because of yet another engine failure. And Apple has this to say about the engine failure. Jamie McCarry would be 12th as of lap 32, when he accidentally wrecks James Garrison, Jamarcus Capehart, Martin Carrix Jr., Kevin Carvick, and himself. Now out for 5 races. I feel bad for everyone involved in the crash. Reb Meeker would take the lead on lap 40 and lead until lap 42 before Lightning McQueen would retake the lead. He would lead all the way until lap 77 when Cal Weathers would take the lead. He would lead until lap 80 where Lightning McQueen would retake the lead once again, leading all the way until lap 117 where Cal Weathers would retake the lead. He would lead for 17 laps before Bobby Swift would take the lead for the first time this race, leading until lap 150, where Lightning McQueen would retake the lead yet again, leading for 14 more laps. But on lap 164, Dale Earnhardt Jr. would be out because of an engine failure, and Jimmy Cables would take the lead after the restart, leading until lap 183, where Lightning McQueen would retake the lead once again. Then, on lap 187, Brick Yardley would take the lead. He wouldn't lead for very long though, because Cal Weathers would take the lead later that lap and lead until lap 211. On lap 211, Phil Tankson would take the lead off of pit cycles. And then, when the pit stops were done, Cal Weathers would retake the lead, leading until lap 213, where Lightning McQueen would retake the lead yet again. Then lead all the way until lap 251, where Bobby Swift would retake the lead. He would lead for 11 more laps before Lightning McQueen would retake the lead yet again, leading all the way until lap 284. Bruce Miller would take the lead off of pit cycles, leading on lap 284, but Lightning McQueen would be back in the lead soon after that, leading until lap 333, where Cal Weathers would take the lead. He would lead for 4 more laps before Bobby Swift would take the lead. He would lead until lap 339, where he'd lose the lead to Todd Marcus. Todd Marcus would briefly lead on lap 339 before Reb Meeker would take the lead. He would lead the field until lap 340, but then Lightning McQueen would retake the lead yet again, and he would lead the final 10 laps to win the 2016 Georgia Safety Horn 350, getting his second win of the season and winning his 94th career victory. Do you think Lightning McQueen will become the 3rd Piston Cup racer to win 100 Piston Cup races? Finishing second this race is Cal Weathers, the only car that has been consistently able to keep up with Lightning McQueen over the last decade. Bobby Swift finishes 3rd this race, Brick Yardley 4th, Bruce Miller 5th, Dino Draftski 6th, Jimmy Cable 7th, Reb Meeker 8th, Ralph Carlo 9th, and rounding out the top 10, Phil Tankson. And Dirksen D'Agostino is the last car to finish on the lead lap this race, finishing 34th, the same as his number. About the top 10, Bruce Miller and Dino Draftski got their very first top 10 finishes this race, and Reb Meeker finishes an impressive 8th this race. And also, this season, Buck Beeringly seems to be a mini Darren Ledfoot, as he barely qualifies and will finish well when he does qualify. Rev Rodages finishes on the lead lap for the 3rd consecutive race. And Ernie Gearson! This is his best achievement all season. Not only did he finish the race on the lead lap, he wasn't even near the back! Speedy Comet finished 19th, and TG Castlenut finishing 21st gets 100 points this race. Parker Breakston finishes an impressive 23rd. Doug Throttleman the Jumper rounds out the top 25, and Bobby Rotesta rounds out the top 30. I am disappointed in how Darren Ledfoot and Murray Clutchburn did this race, because of their expectations this race. Same with Jack DePost, still beating Dirksen D'Agostino. But I do feel bad for the cars who were unable to finish this race. They mostly wrecked out early too. And now, here is the top 20 in points after 16 races, with Lightning McQueen still in the points lead, as he has been for most of the season. And Jimmy Cables stays in the top 5 in points, ahead of Kevin Carvick and Phil Tankson. Reb Meeker makes it into the top 10 based off of his good finish this race, beating Carl Clutchin, Jack DePost, and Dale Earnhardt Jr., even though they all qualified for this race, with TG Castlenut just behind them and Doug Throttleman the Jumper rounding out the top 15. And the rest of the top 20 looks mostly normal. Rex Reveler just got in as Billy Carjoy didn't race this race, and 60 points behind. In 21st is Todd Marcus.
Remember to press the notifications button, which goes ring, ring, ring after you press it. And lightning strikes back, and that's as if you subscribed, of course. And thank you for watching this entire video.
The next race, the 17th race of the 2016 Piston Cup season, will be coming out soon enough. But please be patient, as I've made 26 videos this month. That's a lot of videos. And there's also the New Year video, which will be coming out later today. And you might already be watching this video in 2025. And to that I say, Happy New Year. And the first video that I will be making in 2025 will be the next race of the 2016 Piston Cup season. But don't forget that unfortunately, the 2022 Russian invasion of Ukraine is still going on. The Ukrainian people just wanted to live in peace and have freedom. And many would hope that they would get that in the new year. But, unfortunately, the tyrant and bully, Vladimir Putin, who began this unjustified war nearly 3 years ago, wouldn't allow for that. Unless if Ukraine agreed to give up some land. If everyone agreed on this, this would tell Vladimir Putin that he could start another war and he would get what he wants next time. We here at the Cable It's Piston Cup YouTube channel do not stand for that. We stand with Ukraine in their struggle against Vladimir Putin's tyranny and also recognize Ukraine's true borders as shown by this map. Crimea, the Donbass, and parts of the Kharkiv, Zaporizhia, and Kherson Oblasts, which are shown on this map, are illegally occupied by Vladimir Putin's tyranny. But every day, it gets harder for Ukraine to win the war because of dwindling supplies. But victory is still possible. Slava Ukraini, Heroyam Slava! Nechai Shvisya Darovetsya, Ukraini Permoha! Glory to Ukraine, glory to the heroes. May Ukraine be granted victory very soon.